This program is made possible in part by funding from Associated Bank with 17 locations in the Twin Cities metro area. Casey's Bar and Grill on Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis. DBA Stop and Shop, in operation for 12 years with 2 locations in Minneapolis. Gandhi Mahal in Minneapolis, featuring beer, wine, Lassie Bar, and sizzling kebabs. Glacier's Cafe near the Hiawatha Light Rail line in Minneapolis. The Minnesota Blizzards of the American Basketball Association. St. Paul Custom Creations Company, specializing in upholstery, car audio, window tint, butterfly doors, suicide doors, car lifts, lowering kits, rims, and tires. Soderbergh's Floral and Gift, operating since 1932 in Minneapolis, and by continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thai Video Productions is proud to present high school girls basketball. Today we come to the venue of the 2009 defending state champion in Class 4A, Minneapolis South, as they host the Robbinsdale Armstrong Falcons in a non-conference matchup. Stick around. This game will start shortly. Hello, everyone. Mike Peden here, back with Big Ben Coleman. And Ben, both teams about the same coming into tonight. Minneapolis South 11-4, Robbinsdale Armstrong 11-5, and trying to get some ground. So what do you expect to see with these 2 non-conference foes?
Well, I think it's going to be a chess match. You know, I see that Armstrong is probably going to be more technical and laid back and try to keep the game down. You know, try to control the tempo and not get into a fast-paced game with South. And I know South wants to push the ball. They want to trap and do their defenses and use their speed to create points.
Now, South having the bigger hurdle, so to speak, this year. They've had to play without Taylor Hill, as everybody's calling it, life after Taylor Hill. So, as a coach and as a team, how do you adjust to not having such a star player on your roster to lead the way?
Well, I think it's going to, I don't know, I guess you could say that you're going to call on your old veteran players to step up and fill the void. They've seen what Taylor Hill used to do when she was here. Now it's their chance to come up here and shine and to make their impression on this court.
All right, well, let's take a look at the keys to the game. We will start with the visiting Robbinsdale Armstrong Falcons. If they're going to keep South to 1 possession, I talked to Coach Antoine Easley in South. They like to play a pressure defense, up-tempo game, so if they can keep South to 1 and done, that'll help out the Falcons' cause. They don't want to turn the ball over under pressure. Again, that pressure defense, it's full court, it's in your face, and they like to mix it up too. And they'll want to contain Taisha Smith and Amisha Kearney. Kearney has stepped up this year in the absence of Taylor Hill, averaging 21 points per game, Smith getting 15 points per contest. Minneapolis South, their need to contain Ryan, Kranz, and Hoffer. They also want to maintain court awareness and be ready to play. Robbinsdale Armstrong will give them a fight.
Food for the crew is provided by Pizza Luce, operating since 1993 with 5 locations in the Twin Cities area, also serving Duluth.
Welcome back. We now head to our starting lineups. We'll begin with Robbinsdale Armstrong Falcons. Armstrong will start Allie Hoffer at guard, Alyssa Marshner at guard, Kara Ryan at guard, Carrie Fossum at forward, and Kelly Kranz at forward. The player to watch for Robbinsdale Armstrong is Hoffer. Allie Hoffer averaging 15.8 points per game. MSU Mankato recruit. She's an outstanding shooter and can attack the basket. Of course, MSU Mankato, defending champions in NCAA Division II women's basketball. Minneapolis South starting 5 will be Kanisha Green at forward, Taisha Smith at guard, Satoya Rule at guard, ASL transfer, Amisha Kearney at guard, and Sadaka Jahat at guard. Minneapolis South has a small team, but the player to watch for, Amisha Kearney. Kearney, as we mentioned, stepping up this year with the absence of Taylor Hill to graduation, putting up 21 points per contest. She was a Bloomington Kennedy transfer, and I'm assuming we'll get some offers for Division I and Division II schools. Kearney also putting 3.3 boards a game and 2.8 steals a game. And another player that we need to keep an eye on for Minneapolis South is Taisha Smith. Ben, I know this is the first time you've seen Minneapolis South. I've covered many games here, and Smith is the fastest player I've seen. If you're not careful, she might pickpocket something out of your pocket.
I'm starting to have flashbacks from last year's Minnesota State High School tournament, and I do remember the quickness that they exhibited on the court at that time. So if she's one of those players that was on that team, I know she can play.
She was. She didn't get a lot of action, though, because she hurt her knee during the first half, and so she had to sit out. And Emil Jihad told me when that happened, he had to send in players who hadn't had a varsity minute up until that point. So South not having a big team, though. No player is above 6 feet, and it's been that way the last couple of years. They don't have that big post player inside, but they act like they do. And as Jihad told me, Kanisha Green has stepped up. Wanda Carter was their post player. She tore her ACL, won't be playing the rest of the year, and Green has stepped up nicely for Carter.
Okay, be very interesting. And now they have no choice but to use their quickness. They got to do what they do best, and if what they do best is playing defense and creating steals and creating offense opportunity, that's what they got to continue to do tonight.
Well, and the other thing for Minneapolis South, and that's helped over the years, is that the players have bought into Emil Jihad's system. He's been the coach of Minneapolis South for a few years now, since the 2004-05 campaign, Taylor Hill's first varsity year. It was 05-06, but it's been some time, and the one thing he did was 6 a.m. practices before they would practice after school,
right?
but because of, I believe, to fulfill his scheduling commitments, Jihad has had his players practicing at 6 a.m. The upperclassmen didn't like it. The underclassmen bought into it. Taylor Hill was one of them, and it worked out. He said it just helps. And then they can focus the rest of the afternoon on homework and things like that. So
that's good. I know Tubby Smith brought that into the University of Minnesota as well. The players started practicing early in the morning when he arrived. So good things happen when you get up early.
Robbinsdale Armstrong wearing white, Minneapolis South in black as we have the tip-off and a jump ball, or we may try another tip-off. This doesn't happen too often, so we're going to have a second tip-off, and 3 seconds have ticked off the clock. Armstrong, again in white, Minneapolis South in black, and now we have the first possession. It belongs to Minneapolis South. Armstrong, their colors red, white, and blue. South orange and black. Minneapolis South, of course, the 2009 defending champions in Class 4A. Jihad for 3, too strong. And Marshner was there to pick it up. Hoffer has the ball now. Loses it to number 13, that's Toria Rule. Goes by Tori. Inside the green, has to go out. Ball stolen by Ryan. Tori Rule, a De La Salle transfer. That's for 3, too strong from Fossum. Rebound goes to Smith. Smith averaging 5 steals a game. She does have 3-point range, but she tries a mid-range, too strong. Rebound Hoffer.
South trying to warm up, they ain't afraid to put the ball up.
Neither is Robbinsdale Armstrong. Kara Ryan with the first basket.
I see some good tempo to the start of this game.
I think Armstrong realizes if they want to win this game, they're going to have to play fast. Foul. It's going to go against Hoffer. Against a cross-court pass, though, and I'm not sure
how. That pass.
I was going to say, I'm not a fan of that pass either. If Broderick Bell were here, he would denounce it too. I'm not a fan of that. You know, go with those short diagonal passes.
It's bad in basketball, just like it is bad in football. Ask Burton Farr.
Oh, we're never going to hear the end of that one, are we? Marshner with the steal, and she has an open Ryan, but she can't finish. Oh, my goodness. Rule picks it up. Goes to Green. Green, count it.
I know they were saying the South was going to be the team to push it a lot, but it looks like Armstrong is not afraid to push the ball either, so this is going to be a really good up-tempo basketball game.
Green going to the line, 5'8" forward. Definitely small for the post position, but as Emil Jihad told me, she's done great replacing Wanda Carter after Carter had that ACL. Green can't make the free throw, though, but it's rebounded and put back by Rule, so it's a 4-point play the unusual way.
Look like they're playing a 3-2 zone.
Armstrong ball, and you're right. We haven't seen a zone offense from Minneapolis South in some time. When in the Taylor Hill years, and they had some other great players too. Ephesia Holmes, Hammock Cheese, Jacoya Hammock. You saw more man-to-man coverage. And yes, Minneapolis South was the home to Taylor Hill, and that's what everyone talks about. But the thing Jihad wants to stress the most is that all of his seniors under his program are in college. Not all of them are playing, but offer for three. No good. Rebound.
That's what counts.
Awesome.
Is education.
And that's what he'll tell you. And most of them are playing Division I ball. Ephesian Holmes is playing at Buffalo, and Hammett, I believe, got an offer, and she's playing at Winthrop.
Okay.
Armstrong going inside, yes.
Nice drive.
Alyssa Marshner goes inside after Armstrong goes around the picket fence. We're tied up at 4. This is Rule. Rule, tough shot, doesn't fall. Rebound, Shapiro. Armstrong ball.
Good hustle. She was lucky not to get called for a foul there.
Atmosphere a little different these days versus Taylor Hill's presence.
I can imagine the gym used to be packed when she played, huh?
Well, there were some times where the gym wasn't packed when she was here too. I called some games then. That's for 3. Yes! Alyssa Marshner catching fire early. She has 5 points.
She's getting them to them inside and out.
You were talking about a packed house, though. First game I called here at Minneapolis South as Taisha Smith drives inside, draws the foul. So there's that speed we were talking about. Right. First game I called, 2007 Twin Cities Championship game. St. Paul Central with that magical 32-0 team. Minneapolis South, of course, having Taylor Hill at the time. It was sold out. In fact, we barely had room. And my view was blocked by the camera person. I had to rely on my partner back then to help call the game because I couldn't see what was going on. Right. There was no space available as Smith makes both free throws. Not an empty seat.
I'm reminiscing that when I played high school ball, it didn't look like it was this bright. But that's the last time I was in this gym, when I played high school ball for Minneapolis North.
Well, gym's changed a little bit as Taisha Smith gets called for the foul. I'm sure the gym's changed a little bit since you last played here.
They brighten the walls up here.
Brighten the walls. I don't think there was a shot clock or LED lights in the backboards either. 7-6, 14:30 to go. Offer adds that pass, shot blocked, and another block. Shapiro, though, will go to the line. The foul will go against Green.
Green was doing good on those blocks until she brought her hand down. She's got 2 clean ones.
So 2 clean blocks and a foul. That's her first personal. We have a timeout with 14:22 remaining, so we will take a break.
This program is made possible in part by funding from Associated Bank with 17 locations in the Twin Cities metro area. Casey's Bar and Grill on Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis. DBA Stop and Shop, in operation for 12 years with 2 locations in Minneapolis. Gandhi Mahal in Minneapolis, featuring beer, wine, lassi bar, and sizzling kebabs. Glacier's Cafe near the Hiawatha Light Rail line in Minneapolis. Minnesota Blizzards of the American Basketball Association. St. Paul Custom Creations Company, specializing in upholstery, car audio, window tint, butterfly doors, suicide doors, car lifts, lowering kits, rims, and tires. Soderbergh's Floral and Gift, operating since 1932 in Minneapolis, and by continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
14:22 left in the first half. Talia Shapiro will go to the line. Shapiro, 5'9", junior forward. First one rims out. Shapiro averaging 3.6 points per game this season. For 2. Kearney picks up the rebound. We're talking about Hopkins off broadcast. There's head coach Brian Cosgrove walking by us.
I wonder who he's going to play over here.
And that ball headed right for the production equipment. And it's stuck under the table. And let's see if we don't have a shot of this. There's our producer Jeremy as he's running to get the ball out to the ref. It's a small gym. This gym, I've talked with folks. I've been here for a while, and so I know a lot of the folks here. Reminds me of the Metrodome. Like a place where a place with a lot of legacy, but a lot of quirks. Armstrong trying to go inside, but that pressure defense from South. Armstrong, I think they're realizing that even without Taylor Hill, this is still a tough South team to play.
Yes, they're applying a lot of pressure right now. Their offense is not falling, but as long as they keep the defensive pressure going, that offense will warm up for them. The other pass.
Pass nearly intercepted. It will stay Armstrong ball. Shapiro getting a handful here in the opening minutes. Now Hoffer trips. They do get the ball out. That's Marshner. She has 5 points.
Ooh.
Goes inside to Shapiro. Shapiro can't finish. Scramble for the ball, goes to Kearney.
Making some good crisp passes. Armstrong just can't finish them. Getting good clean shots.
Jihad's too strong. Scramble for the rebound. And it's picked up by Fossum. Marshner to Hoffer. Hoffer gets on the board.
There's a lot of contact down here. Referees letting them play.
Smith goes to Jihad. For three, that's Rule. No good. Over the back call on Green. And they're giving some contact, but not too much. Fouls Green second, and she's going to sit for a while in the game.
That's too bad, because he was the biggest player they had on the court.
Jasmine Scott now in the game. And Laura Thomas also in the game. Yeah, Green the biggest player at 5'9". Not too many teams that I could say have the largest player above 5'9", but Scott has the steal. She has a 1-on-2. She forces her way in there, but it's no good. Fights the rebound. It's lost. Marshner has it. Armstrong has numbers, and they can't handle it. Two wasted opportunities on both ends of the court, and I guess they cancel each other out.
But you have to love the energy, because originally their feet and their minds and everything's going to catch up to each other. Right now, their feet is going faster than what their minds are going.
Their bodies are going one way, and their mind is a step behind. That was Kluzniak, number 5 for Armstrong in the game. 9-6.
Good backdoor cut. Whoa.
And Kara Ryan, well, that time her body and her mind were in sync, and she gets Armstrong a 5-point lead. Ryan with 4 points.
Hey, Armstrong is making some crisp passes. If they continue this, South is going to be in trouble, because of the few layups that they're missing, they are going to start making them.
And we have an offensive foul on South, illegal block. It's on Thomas, her first. And I know we've been talking about life after Taylor Hill, but she wasn't the only player to leave Minneapolis South last year. Mallory Kramer left, Gabrielle Roberts was on that team. Those were 3 key players that all had a big role in their state tournament run. So it wasn't just Taylor Hill who was doing all the dirty work for South. They've lost a lot of players, and Dad said the biggest...
It was a rebuilding year for them, somewhat.
Well, somewhat.
Yeah.
Janessa Tesh-Frazier with the basket. It is a rebuilding year somewhat, although they are 11-4, so they're not exactly a slouch. And they're tied for first in the Minneapolis City Conference. So
that's good. How many seniors on the team?
Seniors on South's roster, this time I only see 4 seniors.
Okay,
and one of them,
fairly young team, though.
Carter, is not playing. So Smith, tough shot, doesn't fall.
Forced that a little bit.
Thomas brings it down, but she can't bring the shot down.
Good intention, but she did not have her feet set when she took that shot.
Marshner has it, takes it herself.
Good take.
Can't get the bounce.
Good idea, good thought.
South ball.
They're getting to the basket quick, but then they're rushing their shots, and that's on both ends.
Well, and in girls basketball, especially this year, it's been mentioned that coaching will be a bigger factor this year than talent is, because you don't have as many superstars. So you see that, of course, Minneapolis South having a great coach, Armstrong, no slouch either, as Kearney can't get the bounce. You're seeing the stronger coaches in the high school league for girls basketball program standing out, with Minneapolis South where they are, St. Paul Central leading the St. Paul City Conference.
Okay. You know that move that 21 just made there, that would have been great if it would have came after a swing. The defense had moved.
Talking about Amisha Kearney.
Mr. Kearney, yes. Just let that defense, when you play against the zone, you got to swing at least twice. Let that defense soften up, and then you get whatever you want out of it.
Blocked by Kearney.
Good block.
Kluzniak getting her Minneapolis welcome. Offer loses the ball. Scott has an open lane this time, and she finishes.
Good steal, good layup.
South cuts the lead to 5. That's that full court press we were talking about, and it works. Laura Thomas picks it up. I know you were looking to see some of that in our last game.
I like the pressure and the intensity in the onset of this game.
Satoria Rule loses the ball, and it goes to Tesh Frazier.
I think South is moving too fast. They got to make the extra pass.
And we have a timeout on the floor. Robbinsdale Armstrong, I believe, calls it. 13-8 with 10:02 to go. And like you said, just up-tempo game.
Yes, up-tempo game. I see Armstrong is a little bit more patient on offense, although they're not able to finish their shots when they get them. And then on the other side, South is pushing the ball hard, and it seems like they're rushing their shots. They're not making the extra pass to the extra person, and they need to move the defense in order to score.
I'm sure both coaches are chatting about that. Now, a few more things about South. You mentioned this year not having these superstars or just as deep of a roster as he's had in previous years. It's stepped up his game as a coach. He's comfortable with where his team is at. I think he likes to see, he hopes that they'll win another conference title and a trip to St. Paul to play the St. Paul City Conference champion, but I think all the girls basketball coaches, with the exception of Lakeville North, are getting a lesson that it's not going to be superstars that win the state tournament for you this year.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a team effort here. I think the teams that come together the quickest is the ones going to be the successful.
And South, they had a lot of great seniors too, but Taylor Hill, she put up 47 points in that state tournament game, and she basically carried the team on the state tournament final. She carried the team on her back all year. They let her do most of the dirty work, and everyone else play cleanup. And so this year, Smith with the steal. Players like her have to find an identity, and she can't finish. Jump ball, possession arrow points to the Falcons.
Now, see, even though that was a good shot, I think she could have looked for her teammate in that situation. Draw the man to you, kick it back, get the easy layup. But it was still a good shot, so she took her time. She squared up to a good shot.
Smith averaging 15 points per game. Foul on Smith.
Just seems like South is trying to do everything one-on-one as opposed to making an extra pass to get their team involved in the game.
So that is Smith's first foul of the game. More importantly, Minneapolis South out of fouls to give. So Armstrong will be shooting free throws for the remainder of the half, and there's still a good chunk of time left, but she has the steal. Scott, shot is blocked. Marshner with the block, and Armstrong picks it up. And it's stolen right back by Rule. Rule to Kearney. Kearney, right side, got it.
Starting to put it together now.
Little hot potato going on.
Oh, this trap reminds me of the old days here. I love this kind of pressure.
Oh, times may have changed, but the city conferences, Minneapolis, St. Paul, it's always been an up-tempo, in-your-face type game where you use defense to get your offense going.
There you go.
No, I enjoy the Minneapolis St. Paul conferences the most out of all the teams I follow, because you're right, they're quick, they're fast, and they're not going to fool around. They're going to make you. They're going to make you play 36 minutes.
It's kill or be killed. And there we go back again. Armstrong, like, they're making nice, sharp passes, but when they get the ball close to the bucket, they're not capitalizing. They have to figure out a way to calm down, rush to their spot, but take the time and make the shot.
That was Kluzniak, who had an open look, but she couldn't handle it, stepped out of bounds, turns the ball over. She'll go on the bench for a while as Shapiro comes back in.
Yeah, what Armstrong plays is take your time, grab the ball, then make a shot. But you gotta love their sets. You can tell they're both two teams that are well coached because they're running their sets.
Rule was open, but she lost the handle on the ball. She will draw the foul. Foul is on Marshner.
I do notice from back when I used to play, these teams nowadays are running the sets more complete. They're running them through. I think when we played, we just pressured the heck out of people on defense and ran down the court and scored it. These guys are playing more complete basketball games here, more technical, you should say.
Kearney missed the three from the top of the key. Smith has it. Can't clean it up.
Now Smith, no mistake, she didn't miss at least 3 easy shots right down there under the bucket. If she, she got to keep scoring though. She will make them eventually.
Marshner stops, pops, no good. Rebound Thomas.
I'd like to see a swing out of here. So all this dribbling. Let's get a couple of swings, or instead of one-on-one, get some swings.
Rule will go to the line. Foul will go against Marshner, and that. We'll see. We'll check the board. That looks like that will be your first. That will send Tori Rule to the line. Rule just got back in after an injury. She's putting up big numbers for South this year. She gets the front end. Rule 11.8 points per game.
Those are good numbers.
64% free throw shooter. Kluzniak going back in the game for Armstrong. Scott going back in the game for South. Now you're talking about changes. What has changed the most, especially with girls basketball? Because when you were going to high school, it was still in its infancy as a high school league sport.
When we watched girls play back in the day, it was more timid. These, they were still trying to be cute. Girls nowadays, they're playing to kill or be killed. And, they're proud of what they do. They hold their shoulders up high, and they work hard.
Kearney can't get the clean block, so she will get tagged for the foul. And that will put South in the penalty. Carrie Fossum goes to the line. And you were talking about, kill or be killed, up-tempo, not being cute. I mean, I've checked out the Intercity All-Star Classic, and they're certainly not cute.
No, they're going at it. They put on their makeup and everything and leave the court. But on the court, they're putting it out there. And in a lot of instances, even when I was watching college basketball at the University of Maryland and the University of Minnesota, those girls worked harder than the guys did. Because they had more to prove. And then, of course, they said the girls, they can grasp things easier than men can.
Taisha Smith, tough shot, doesn't fall. Fossum got 1 of 2, so she's on the board with the point.
So they grasped what the coach was saying quicker than we did, so that's what they were saying.
It's two different brands of basketball. I mean, I follow the boys, and it's flashy, fast-paced. Girls, it's a little different brand. Like you said, they grasp things a little more quickly.
Oh, their sets are real good.
It's a little more technical. Well, they can't dunk, so they have to make it up somewhere.
Look at the cut. That's picture perfect. That's what you want you guys to do. Pass the ball, the defender leans forward, go back door. That was picture perfect.
It doesn't produce the result Armstrong wanted, though. They lose the ball on a turnover.
Yeah, they got to grab the ball. Before it was catch the ball and shoot. Slow down and shoot your shot. Now they got to catch the ball first, then go and shoot. Going a little bit too fast there.
The cuts are perfect. The results, not so much. Kearney, way too strong.
Well, I always tell my guys, rush to your spot and take your time and make your shot.
Maybe you should bring in a girls roster for a Blizzard.
Yeah.
Do they have a female ABA?
No, but a lot of the teams in the ABA, they do have female teams too. They have adult women's leagues too.
Rule missed the shot. Kearney almost intercepts the pass. This is Shapiro.
Look at the picture. Look at the passes are perfect. Chest passes, hitting everybody in the chest. Boom. All you got to do is score it.
Kaluzniak can't do it. She misses a 3, and Rule will get tagged for the foul against South in the penalty. So Shapiro will go back to the free throw line. She has yet to score in this game. 6:01 to go. Armstrong with a 2-point lead. They pulled it out to 7 early, but it's been really close. A close, low-scoring game. Not something that you've seen from Minneapolis South over the years.
You know, in Armstrong, they're breaking the press. When they're patient, they're breaking the press quite easily, but they're just not scoring when they break the press, and the opportunities are there. So the coach is probably going to have to be drilling them about that at halftime or before this half is over.
Thomas, that's for 2, doesn't fall. Rebound, Jihad.
The hole is too long, see?
Foul, yes!
It's a great move, but still, that ball needs to swing.
Kearney ties it up. We'll have a chance to give Minneapolis South the lead. Kearney, 59% free throw shooter, drains it. 15-14 South.
They're going to full court press. 2-1-2.
That's something fans are used to at Minneapolis South, and it almost works. Smith was close to a steal. If it wasn't for that baseline, she would have had it.
I wonder how many players does South use a night on the average?
They used, well, they used to use a lot more when they had the deeper roster to go to. I've seen 7 take the court now as Rule goes to the left side, swings her way in. So Minneapolis South up to
still pressing. I like that.
Minneapolis South up to a 3-point lead.
I don't know if they're going man-to-man or they're still in zone. Then they fall into the zone now, man-to-man.
Man-to-man disguises his own. And Armstrong looking for a
Look
crack.
at that back cut.
Offer.
Oh, she got one.
Counted and the foul.
I love that. Go without the basketball. That's the coach's dream right there.
Back door is open. Hoffer says, I want to join the party. Averaging 15.8 points per game coming into today. Tesh Frazier stepping in the game now as Kaluzniak will get a few more minutes to rest. This will tie it, and Hoffer does tie the game up at 17.
We got us a ball game now. I think the players are starting to settle into their own, so you should see a lot more exciting plays out of these two teams.
17-17.
Let's see if South's going to be patient on this, get a swing.
Armstrong playing a little zone. South passing around the picket fence. Rule, tough shot, gets it.
Every time you're facing a zone, you get an easy bucket.
Tori Rule bringing her talents from De La Salle over to the south side of the city. That was a high bank shot from Armstrong's Ryan. Doesn't fall, we have a jump ball. Possession arrow points to the Tigers. But Tesh Frazier got caught up.
But you see, even though Armstrong missed, they was in a position to score, and that was a great position. Your coach can't want you to get a better shot than that. That was like a 5-foot shot. It's great. They just didn't make it a bucket.
Kearney in the corner. That's her sweet spot. Rule. Tough fadeaway. No good. Shapiro has the board. South of that full court press again. And Fossum was looking for Tesh Frazier, but that hustle from South breaks up the pass.
That was good. South doing a good job keeping their hands up. They're starting to touch a lot of balls out there. Well, not starting to, they have been. They've been getting a lot of deflections all night so far.
Those deflections leading to steals or broken plays.
It's a good little motion offense they're running right now.
Shapiro out to Tesh Frazier. Ryan has it. Armstrong looking for an open shot. Marshner had it, but doesn't fall. Smith has the rebound. She has numbers. She has amazing speed, but she gets the ball tied up and somehow gets the tough shot to fall.
That was a good shot.
So a good fadeaway for Smith. Minneapolis South opens up to their largest lead of the game at 4 with 3 minutes to go.
What you would like as your point guard when they run that fast break is to stop right before the free throw line and wait for the 2 wings to fill in. And then if the wings don't fill in, then you want to see them take that nice little 15-foot jump shot right up top here. And that's what she'll have to do if she goes on to the next level anyway, so she just well get started practicing that now.
Fossum got called for traveling, and she had an open look. Thomas inside to Kearney. Broken up, Armstrong ball. So give credit to the Falcons for forcing another turnover.
You know the South going back to shooting on one side. They're not swinging it. They got the easy shots when they swung it. It's a nice motion offense.
Marshner with an open look, and she capitalizes. Marshner broke through the hole and cuts the South lead in half. 21-19, 2:19 to go. We will take a short break.
This program is made possible in part by funding from Associated Bank with 17 locations in the Twin Cities metro area. Casey's Bar and Grill on Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis. DBA Stop and Shop, in operation for 12 years with 2 locations in Minneapolis. Gandhi Mahal in Minneapolis, featuring beer, wine, classy bar, and sizzling kebabs. Glacier's Cafe near the Hiawatha Light Rail line in Minneapolis. The Minnesota Blizzards of the American Basketball Association. St. Paul Custom Creations Company, specializing in upholstery, car audio, window tint, butterfly doors, suicide doors, car lifts, lowering kits, rims, and tires. Soderbergh's Floral and Gift, operating since 1932 in Minneapolis, and by continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
I think the team's more, I've been seeing a lot of well-coached teams since I've been doing this telecast with you. A lot of well-coached teams. Coaches are doing their homework too before they get these kids.
Well, that has something to do with our scheduling. I go through and I pick some competitive games each year, so we've got a
you trying to say this? Are you trying to say there's some bad coaches out there?
I don't want to say there's bad coaches out there, but yeah, there's some ones that don't take this as seriously. Fossum gets called for the foul, and Armstrong's in the penalty that will send Scott to the line. But yeah, there are some coaches who just don't understand the fine details about it, or they don't do the little things to get their team to the big show, to the state tournaments. Kearney, no, I thought that was going in.
Oh, somebody got fouled. Come on now. I think the ref might have missed something there.
Yeah, I know foul called, but that Kearney, I'm sure, wants that shot back. She had an open look after that missed free throw from Scott.
I like the motion. I like the motion. I like it. Whoa.
Tesh Frazier motions 2 more points to her score total. She has 4. We're tied again at 21.
Yeah, you got to give kudos to these coaches because they prepared these young ladies.
Well, if you want to see a couple good coaches, if you want to stick around, our next game is at Chaska, Lakeville North and Chaska, with Andy Berkvam and Tara Seifert, 2 top 10 programs in Class 4A. So you can imagine there's some good coaching going on.
These girls are great. Just swing the ball.
Sadaka Jihad.
That was out of control there. I know the coach is stringent about that play.
That's the daughter of head coach Emil Jihad.
Oh, that's his daughter. Oh.
Yeah, and that's Shapiro inside, clean block. And Kearney draws the foul. She'll go to the line. It's again, Armstrong is in the penalty with 54.2 seconds left. We'd like to remind you that at halftime we'll have our first half analysis. And our chat, maybe Ben will share some more of his high school days with us.
Gotta reminisce, man.
Maybe do a Blizzards update. I know there's no women's team yet, but maybe you might find a player or two who you could sign a contract for if they don't make it to the WNBA.
Yeah, actually, we're thinking about some pro-am leagues right now. We're going to see if we can put together a women's one. But first of all, we're going to work on a men's pro-am league for the Blizzards. And that way, it give us coaching staff an opportunity to see the best players that are out here, and hopefully they'll come and play in our league for at least 6 to 8 weeks so we can evaluate them properly and thoroughly.
Kearney got the front end. Minneapolis South has the lead again. Second one bounces in. 23-21. No shot clock. Armstrong could run out the clock.
Let's shift to be patient with this motion offense.
Tesh Frazier
Ooh.
can't drain the hook. And the rebound goes to Kearney. Minneapolis South with 30 seconds left, and it looks like they're going to hold for the final shot. Ten seconds.
They're moving now. Come on, move. You want a one-on-one. I'm going to get off a pass.
Kearney throws it up, no good. Shapiro with the rebound, but Armstrong's not going to have time. Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
So no three-point half-court shot from Armstrong, and Minneapolis South will head into the locker rooms with a 23-21 lead. Well, what else would you expect from two upper-echelon teams?
Very good.
So we will take a break and come back with our first half analysis after a word from your station.
Food for the Crew is provided by Pizza Luce, operating since 1993 with 5 locations in the Twin Cities area, also serving Duluth.
Let's take a look at our in-game box score. And, well, for a 23-21 match, not a lot of points, but Tori Rule leading all players with just 8. Amisha Kearney has 7. Taisha Smith with 4. And rounding out the fruit bowl are Kanisha Green and Jasmine Scott with the pair apiece. Robbinsdale Armstrong, Allie Hoffer has 5 points. Alyssa Marshner has 5 points. Ryan has 4 points. Tesh Frazier also has 4 points. And Kranz with 2. Big difference, and this is why Minneapolis South is in front. 7 of 9 from the free throw line in the first half. Robbinsdale Armstrong 2 of 6, but it's really been a tight game to this point.
I'm curious to see what would be the field goal percentage, because both teams have been missing a lot of easy shots. They could both have 10 more points easily to their current score right now. I think, like I was saying before, we try to tell the players to rush to their spot and take their time to make the shot. I think this really applies to this game because they're missing too many easy shots.
Is there a statistician from your team that you could send over here? I'd like that myself, because I don't get the field goal stats or anything like that. And I can do a lot of things in my head, but I can't calculate field goal percentages.
Yeah, we got to get one of those guys. We got to get one of them guys to work for us. We need a statistician. But yeah, that's what I see out of these two teams. I mean, they're executing their plays properly and correctly, and they're also working hard on defense. I mean, they're breaking the presses, they're trapping good, but we're just not getting the candy. Not getting reward. When you work that hard, your reward is to make that bucket. When they're not getting it.
Order your copy of high school basketball and enjoy a keepsake you can have for all eternity. Minneapolis South in black, Robbinsdale Armstrong in white. Original 5 on the floor for both teams. You were talking about Gophers. There actually was a Gopher who is a Minneapolis South alum, but from a few years ago. I don't think she's here now, but I'm talking about Leah B. Olson. I'm sure you've heard of her name a few times.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Alyssa Marshner gets the second half going with the basket. She has 9 points.
Coaches must have hammered into them to take their time and make those shots, because that's a wasted effort you don't want to have.
I'm shorted Marshner a couple points there in that halftime report.
Good cut, real too soon.
Foul on Armstrong. It's on Fossum, that's her second. Fouling, not too much an issue right now.
I think South needs to be a little more patient. They're rushing. They just rushed 2 passes, they got deflected.
Marshner draws the foul. Foul is on Kearney. That is her second personal. Marshner going to the line. Marshner averaging 15.8 points per game this season. Armstrong, a very senior, experienced team, but she can't get the front end.
It shows too, but they show a lot of patience on offense, as well as when they go against the press. They're real deliberate in what they do.
Marshner comes up empty, and we stay tied at 23. Smith for three. Bullseye.
Whoa. First one I've seen.
Smith, didn't mention the first half, has that three-point range to complement her speed. Stops, pops, no good from Hoffer. Marshner with the putback.
Marshner, she's everywhere, huh?
Marshner, first player to break double digits with 11. Smith has 7 points, but it's Minneapolis South with the lead. Open three for Jihad. Yes!
Whoa. Oh, man. I tell you when.
Hoffer on the other end, and it's, the tempo's really cranking up now.
Guys, they've worked. These young ladies have really warmed up now.
7 points for Hoffer. And Jihad gets on the board after a quiet first half. So
let's get a pass. I hate it when they go one-on-one. I like them better when they're passing the ball around.
And now Armstrong defending the perimeter. Mid-range jumper for Smith falls short, and we've got a foul. I believe it will go against, thought it was going to go against Green. It is on Green. That is her third personal foul. Green not getting a lot of action, only has 2 points on the scoreboard.
Back in that 2-1-2 press.
Hoffer kicks out to Marshner. Marshner's going back to the line. However, she came up with a goose egg in her last trip. And Armstrong, we talked about 2 of 6 in the first half in free throws. Now they're 2 of 8. And you have to wonder, as Marshner does make her first here, and Armstrong, the bench getting into it, if those missed points will come into play.
Yeah, they're looking a little more confident so far. They're putting more of a conscious effort toward making the ball, making the basket once they get it so close to the hoop.
3 of 10 from the charity stripe.
Wow, that's not
for
good.
The Falcons. And those missed points could come into play here. I know they did in that Vikings-Saints game that not a lot of folks want to talk about.
It's heartbreaking.
1998 all over again.
Drop balls. That's the biggest thing, is just drop balls.
Green gets called for the charge, so give credit to Kelly Kranz. She draws it, and Green picks up her 4th foul. Thomas is going to come in. Green probably going to sit on the bench for most of this half.
I used to hate that when they get the 4th foul and the coach had to take you out. They all let high school players get at least 7 fouls. This is when they learn how to play basketball.
Believe it or not, this was after you left, but there was a time in basketball where the high school league experimented with an unlimited amount of fouls. So you couldn't foul out. And Smith, speaking of fouls, she will draw it as she goes down to the floor hard.
No, limited sounds a little extreme. I can see up to 7, but unlimited? They give them unlimited?
Yeah, I believe the record was 13 fouls for one player. I'd have to check the St. Paul City Conference.
So what they do, give them technicals or something after 5 or after 6? Because I know in the ABA, after 6 fouls, the player can continue to play. But if he fouls, there's a technical foul, too, assessed to their team. And so, therefore, the team gets extra free throws.
I'm not sure, well, this was way back before I was born, so I'm not sure how that worked out. But the foul is against Marshner. That's her 3rd.
Now in high school they get 5, right?
In high school and college they get 5.
Okay.
And so yeah, you don't, not as much room for error as you do in having the pros.
I think they should get more room.
Rule can't make the shot. And Smith, she was slow to get up, so there was some concern again. She went down with that knee injury in the state tournament, and I was there. I was on the courts, or I was courtside, member of the press row, and said some things that I couldn't repeat on the air, and 45 couldn't repeat on the air, but you can tell she's clearly fine. You know, she came back. She's getting some offers in Division I and Division II.
That's great.
Mostly mid-major Division I colleges. Kearney, top of the key, in and out. Rebound will not happen. Minneapolis South will keep the ball. 14:07 remaining. Minneapolis South with a 29-28 lead.
I think if South starts being more patient and swing the ball a few more times on the offense, they'll have the opportunity to stretch this lead there.
Kearney couldn't stretch it there, and Fossum picked up the board, but now that full court press coming into play again. Armstrong does get it across.
Pass and cut, pass and cut.
Marshner, she's had a big game so far, double dribble.
Mouse in the house, she was trying to go for it. Eyes got big. But that's good, the team read that. They saw the mismatch and they made the extra effort to get her the ball.
Shapiro going in, replacing Fossum. Armstrong staying in the zone. They're gonna try to make South collapse it. Kearney going back to the line. She's 2 of 3 so far from the line. South, as we mentioned, 7 of 9 in the first half, and that's really been the difference in this game. South making their free throws, Armstrong throwing up bricks. Kearney with the front end. Kearney breaks double digits. Can't exactly read their point totals because on the scoreboard they have protective netting. Kearney makes both, so South increases the lead to 3. Like you said, I think we need to see if we can get one of your ABA statisticians over here.
I like the sound. I like that string music. Did you hear it after the last free throw?
Oh yes, that's thanks to our backboard mics.
Okay.
South can handle the pass. Smith will be credited or charged with the turnover. I don't think she'd want to take credit for it. As you mentioned, Smith, a quick player. I think the only thing that's keeping her from perhaps bigger Division I offers is the fact she's 5'1".
Yeah.
And
I think, no, she's a senior this year?
She's a senior.
She's going to have to start pulling up on that free throw line for a jumper instead of trying to get into the crowd, because there's no way she's going to get them shots off when she go to a mid-major. Got to start shooting more outside jumpers.
For 3. Bullseye! I think she heard you.
Right on cue.
Smith, she's had that 3-point range for many years here at South.
Okay.
She likes to go inside, you know, to capitalize on that speed. As we have Ryan going in, but she can't get it to fall.
That speed will serve her well on the fast break, but when the defense is already back and set, she got to pull it back and shoot a jump shot and give it to the big to work down low.
In some ways, though, I mean, Smith, as she goes to the bench, Jasmine Scott will take her place for a while. In some ways, I think, and not just with her, but with a lot of players, I think they get unfairly judged because of their size.
Right.
Sometimes it's like you.
No, if she's good enough, they're going to see it. You know, if she can establish that jump shot, let folks know she got a mid-range jumper and a deadly 3, she'll open up a lot of eyes out there in the college ranks.
Thomas with the steal for South. Tori Rule stops, pops, swish.
That's what I'm talking about.
And South starting to turn some of that defense to offense. They get to their largest lead of the game at 8. And you're talking about undersized players. Well, the Gophers have had a great player who, if not for her, I think they'd be wallowing in pity right now. China Antoine, 5'3", junior college transfer.
Right.
In many ways,
what you got to do, you got to play to your strength.
Well, and her skill set is similar to that of Smith's, where she uses that defense to offense, and she has a deep 3. Jasmine Scott with the steal. Tori Rule with an open look. Timeout, Armstrong. 11:30 to go, 38-28. Well, now you're starting to see some of that offensive capitalization for the Tigers, and we'll talk a little more about that when we come back.
This program is made possible in part by funding from Associated Bank with 17 locations in the Twin Cities metro area. Casey's Bar and Grill on Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis. DBA Stop and Shop, in operation for 12 years with 2 locations in Minneapolis. Gandhi Mahal in Minneapolis, featuring beer, wine, classy bar, and sizzling kebabs. Glacier's Cafe near the Hiawatha Light Rail line in Minneapolis. The Minnesota Blizzards of the American Basketball Association. St. Paul Custom Creations Company, specializing in upholstery, car audio, window tint, butterfly doors, suicide doors, car lifts, lowering kits, rims, and tires. Soderbergh's Floral and Gift, operating since 1932 in Minneapolis, and by continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
No, it doesn't. 'Cause we gotta wait until next year now.
I know.
Shucks.
That's too long.
Yep.
11:30 left, or actually 11:26 left. Minneapolis South with a 10-point lead in a contest that was tied up for most of it, or close.
South.
This is Ryan. Ryan can't stop the bleeding. Out of bounds. It will stay with the Falcons.
South has really used their defense to create some offense for Foreman in like a 2-minute spurt. I think they got like 6 to 8 points.
And it plays to their strength, you know, being a full court team, as Rule with the block.
Yep, they got to do what they do best. That's press. And they have the quickness, so they use that to their advantage. But I also think it helped when they was a little more poised. There was a little more poise on offense in the second half.
This is Fossum. Fossum with a kiss off the glass, and that will stop the bleeding momentarily for the Falcons.
Into a motion. I'll see what they got. How's the motion? How many swings they get before they get a shot up?
Smith swings.
What are they in the box and one? Look like they're in the box and one.
You're right. It is a box and one. That was a formation a lot of teams used last year against Taylor Hill, and most of the time it didn't work.
Good drive and the kick.
Jihad finds an open Thomas.
I like
she
the
gets
patience.
the bounce.
I like the patience.
And perhaps the rim giving her a reward for patience there.
Every time South or either one of these teams have been patient on offense, they've gotten something good out of it.
Fossum for 3. Yes!
Good looking 3.
Well, a good presence for Shapiro. She threw up a shot, perhaps a little too quick, and she...
But she had her feet square, so you can't complain too much. And she was open.
And she got that, well, importantly, she got the rebound, and Fossum was there to make the 3. This game is not over by any means.
There's another draw
Offer
kick.
for 3. Bullseye! It's a 4-point game, 9.5 minutes remaining.
Armstrong's like, hold up, wait a minute. We are still in it.
So are the Vikings. Sorry.
Into that last minute, huh?
And well, until overtime, really.
Last minute, we lost it.
That's not to say the Armstrong Falcons are out of it, though. It's basketball's a different game. There's no sudden death rule if we do go to overtime. Rule, traveling violation. She was hoping to draw contact, and I don't think she would have got it.
No, I think that was a bad play there. She should have swung that ball. That was like a forced shot.
If you were talking about earlier, South, when they swing the ball, that's when they're getting open looks. To elaborate a little more on that box one, I said it worked most of the time as Hoffer has a 2-on-1 here. And Tash Frazier open in the back door, but she can't hang on to it. That box and one, it worked a few times. St. Paul Central in 2008, they were heavy underdogs in that state tournament final, and they used the box and one to limit Hill to 9 points.
That's good, right?
As Central won that game in what was the biggest shocker of the 2007-08 girls basketball season. Willie Taylor, as Rule goes up and takes it in. Willie Taylor gave me a little flack for that after I kind of wrote Central off after that season. So Tash Frazier, I thought she had an open look, but instead she kicks out. Fossum saves it.
Good swing.
Good swing, but Armstrong.
Offensive foul.
Yes. Offensive foul on Fossum. That's her third. And a wasted opportunity for the Falcons.
I still would like to see that point guard penetrate and stop and pop for a jump shot instead of trying to create some contact inside there.
Kearney. Traveling violation.
Too quick.
I saw it here. Players are everywhere, and she just tripped up. Fossum stepping out. Kluzniak stepping in for the Falcons. Rule going out. Scott going in for the Tigers. Marshner. South in box him one, it looks like. Kluzniak,
like the
open,
cut.
too strong. Foul. Foul is on Tesh Frazier.
There we go. She rushed to the spot, but she didn't take her time to make that shot.
Fouling situation about even. Armstrong with one foul left to give. Minneapolis South with two.
Like South only plays 7 players, but they're still able to pressure all game long. So them athletes are in good shape.
Well, most of these players, they were all around, for the last few years. Kearney's been with South for the last 3 after transferring from Kennedy. Smith has been here since a freshman. Kearney looking for a hole in the middle. Can't exploit it, but she'll go to the line.
Wow.
And Jihad has been here for the last 3 years, so a lot of these players, they had a chance to develop with Taylor Hill, with Aphesia Holmes, with Kramer, with Roberts. And so while it is a pretty short bench compared to previous years, these players, they all are used to playing with the cream of the crop.
Okay. And coach got them in real good shape.
And they bought into his system, and it got them a state championship, so they're not exactly going to go away from it. Fouls on Tesh Frazier. Kearney for 3.
Ooh.
Too strong. Rebound Kluzniak. That foul on Tesh Frazier is Armstrong's 6th, so Minneapolis South will go to the free throw line where they have done well all game from here on out.
Good double out there. A lot of good pressure they put out there. This 2-1-2 press is good. Can't fall asleep against them because they're so quick. I know he's looking for a foul, but it wasn't there. That was just a good steal.
So Armstrong keeps the ball. That pass almost picked off. It is Smith, averaging 5 steals a contest. And that was just a high rainbow. You throw it up like that, it's going to get picked off.
Yeah, a good defensive player will get that. It will time it.
Scott thought about a 3. Instead goes to Smith.
You need a little more cuts. It's like a standout, like a stall game they're doing right now. Let's do some passing cuts. Are they trying to get Armstrong to come out the zone and play him?
Double dribble violation on Smith. Marshner and Shapiro going into the game for the Falcons. And Tori Rule is going to step back in for the Tigers, replacing Scott. Hoffer to Shapiro, finds an open Ryan. Air ball. Fossum can't save it. New player in for South, Ronique Livingston, 35. Jihad, oh, she was open.
Yes, she was. I'm surprised she didn't take that shot.
South not doing badly from the 3-point line. Hoffer with the steal.
Good push.
Ryan takes it herself, can't get the bounce. Marshner's there for the board and the foul.
That's the play where that point guard has got to stop, at least 8 to 10 feet out to either fake the jump shot or pass it to the bigs that are already down there at the bucket. That's a wasted effort there. If she misses, her bigs are in a position to rebound.
Fouls on Livingston, her first. Marshner struggling from the free throw line, though. Not that time.
String music. I think she broke the net on that one.
Points for Marshner as he matches her jersey number. Brings the lead back to 4. 5:14 to go, 42-38.
Open.
Seeing a slower tempo now from Minneapolis South.
Look, a little stall tactic here.
Kearney to Jihad. Jihad draws the charge. Hoffer was set, and Minneapolis South now out of fouls to give. The foul is Kearney's or Jihad's second, and so free throws could be critical now. And now we got another whistle.
Yeah, South got to settle back down right now. Every time someone gets the ball, the rest of the players are standing around and just watching instead of moving.
Well, Armstrong, they turned it over.
Yeah.
They turned the ball over after they drew the charge, and that has to kill momentum. Livingston almost had the three, but it goes in and out. Marshner's tripped up, and that's going to be a foul. And Minneapolis South now in the penalty, but Marshner slow to get up. Looks like she's fine, though.
That was a hard foul. These girls are tough.
Well, I think they've been watching the Big Ten Network since that's been on for the last few years on cable now. So I think a lot of these girls are getting a chance to see how the Big Ten does it.
Okay.
Marshner with 14 points, and now she's starting to turn it on from the free throw line. She was 1 of 4 to start this half, and since she's 3 of 3. And a jinxer.
Well, your star players need to step up in crunch time, and she is doing a good job of stepping up right now, 14.
Marshner with 15 points now, but more importantly, it's a one-possession game again, so I don't think South can stall for too much longer.
We're not getting a whole lot of movement at the whole team. We're just getting one person going one-on-one, and it's giving Armstrong a chance to take a break on defense. Give them a chance to catch their breath.
Catch their breath and make the steal as Marshner did. Armstrong could tie it with the 3, but instead Heffer will try to make it a one-point game. Doesn't work. Shapiro cleans up the mess, and it is a one-point game.
Did you say Heffer?
Hoffer.
Oh, Hoffer.
Hoffer.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue smoothly.
All right. That was a good play by Armstrong.
And now Armstrong playing a little press. It works. Marshner with the steal and the timeout call. 3:36 remaining, 42-41. Minneapolis South looked like they were going to open the door, run away, and Armstrong came back, and I think it goes to when South went to that half-court settle offense. You mentioned Armstrong, they could take a break, catch themselves, and look what it's happened.
Yeah, I think Coach is thinking about that tactic right now. I think he should have kept the pressure on them. They should have kept moving the ball on offense. And it'll keep the girls hungry. Now they got to regroup all over again. He didn't slow them down. Now they got to regroup all over again and raise their intensity level up to match what Armstrong has.
So with 3:36 to go, we'd like to remind you that coming up in the post-game report are Associated Bank Players of the Game, where they'll chat with us for a couple minutes. Our Associated Bank Players of the Game coming up at our post-game report. And once again, we'd like to remind you, you want to order a copy of this game, and I don't know, if you don't order a copy of this, what's wrong with you? This is a great game. Please go online to www.tyvp.net. That's www.tyvp.net. Ben, I'd have to say, I hope you can stick with us for the season here, because it seemed to be a good luck charm. Every time you come here, we've had great games. You know, Central Johnson was close until the last couple minutes. De La Salle, Minnehaha, that game went down to the last 2 minutes, and this game will also go down to into the final minutes.
It's been some intense game. I enjoy these kind of games.
I think that.
Now watch this. Next time we get together, it'll be a lopsided game.
Well, hopefully will you be able to come for Chaska?
Oh, who's Chaska playing? That's
Lakeville North, the #1 team in Class 4A
Is it
for
down
girls
in
basketball.
Chaska?
It's in Chaska.
Oh, that's good. That's right in my neighborhood. I would love to come to that game.
Chaska, the #3 team in Class 4A, so both tough teams in the Lake Conference. That's going to be a lot of fun.
That's
Hopper.
the mid-range jumper I'm talking about. Even though she missed it, that's a great shot.
That would have given Armstrong the lead, but it's not over yet. Smith on the right side. She forced it. Hoffer with the rebound. Armstrong with another shot to take the lead.
Armstrong has been deliberate with their offense all night long. And the Tides just changed when South had that stretch and went to the start tactic and gave Armstrong a chance to catch their breath. They've been deliberate with their offensive attacks all night. And they're still very patient. Something's going to open up if they stay patient like that.
2.5 minutes. I swear, you and Broderick, you guys must be talking to each other all the time. I hear a lot about patience and short passes.
You have to work the defense. Yep, you have to work the defense.
Armstrong taking a lot of time off the clock. It's working, but at some point they're going to have to put up a shot. They're still
Let's
trailing.
just hope they don't force it up.
Hoffer for 3. No good.
Force shot, but they also got the rebound.
Ryan.
Wow.
That can't go in either.
She rushed her spot, didn't take the time to make that shot.
2 shots going in and out here for Armstrong, and now South dealing with a little bit of pressure. They're going to
South got the ball handlers that can control it the rest of the way out.
Smith draws the foul. Armstrong now in the penalty, so that will send Smith to the free throw line. That is not what Armstrong wanted to do, but if worse comes to worse, it would still be a 1-possession game. Smith can't extend it any further.
On that last action down there, you got to give South a lot of credit because they held that defense for over a minute and they didn't break down.
Smith misses the free throw, but Rule is there for the putback. That could be the play of the game.
It'll open up.
But it's still a 1-possession game. Fossum, she gets fouled, and that's what Armstrong wants.
Armstrong has missed 2 ducks in the last couple of minutes here. Those buckets got to be made. You might have to get them in practice and foul them while they shoot their layups so they get used to making them in the game.
1 minute, 33 seconds left in the game, and we'll take a break, find out who comes out on top.
This program is made possible in part by funding from Associated Bank with 17 locations in the Twin Cities metro area. Casey's Bar and Grill on Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis. DBA Stop and Shop, in operation for 12 years with 2 locations in Minneapolis. Gandhi Mahal in Minneapolis, featuring beer, wine, lassi bar, and sizzling kebabs. Glacier's Cafe near the Hiawatha Light Rail line in Minneapolis. The Minnesota Blizzards of the American Basketball Association. St. Paul Custom Creations Company, specializing in upholstery, car audio, window tint, butterfly doors, suicide doors, car lifts, lowering kits, rims, and tires. Soderbergh's Floral and Gift, operating since 1932 in Minneapolis, and by continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
1:33 remaining in the second half. I'm Mike Peden here with Ben Coleman. We're calling another exciting game, this time on the girls' side with South and Armstrong. Armstrong trying to keep this a 1-possession game. And Fossum
coming through in the clutch.
takes the first.
Miss Fossum have run now.
Fossum with 7 points. It's a 2-point game now. Sinks both, so it's a 1-point game again. Armstrong, they've had a few chances to take the lead.
1-2-2 press for Armstrong.
And there's a 10-second rule. Marsters open. And Armstrong with the lead.
Turn the Tides on it. Putting the press right back on them. You go, Armstrong.
Armstrong saying, hey, we can do the full court press too. Kearney's got to be careful with the 10-second call.
Well, he's taking her time getting the ball across the court.
Smith has it. Here she comes, driving the
Ooh,
right side, and South takes the lead back. 1 minute remaining. It's a low-scoring game, but doesn't matter how many points you score as long as you have more than the opponent. Oh, that was almost a foul.
Get that close. All right, let's see if they're going to go for the last shot or they're going to take what's open.
45 seconds. Armstrong with 1 timeout left if they need it. Minneapolis South with 3. Both teams in the penalty. And Armstrong will use their final timeout with 36.4 seconds. And there's no shot clock here, so here's the dilemma. Do you hang on and hope for the final shot, or do you try to get a shot quick and then get a rebound, try to get another chance? Because you're down by 1.
If I'm Armstrong, I'm holding on to the ball to the last 8 seconds to take that shot, because if they miss, you don't want to give South another opportunity to go down and score. Or if they make it, you don't want the Armstrong a chance to go back and score. Because Armstrong is so quick, I think they scored their last bucket in like, less than 5 seconds.
They're quick when they want to be. Now keep in mind, Minneapolis South has 3 timeouts, and so if Armstrong scores and there's enough time left, Meal Jihad could call a timeout to stop the clock.
And I look for South to trap somewhere in this 38 seconds. I look for them to do a trap somewhere to get the ball out of Armstrong's hands. A clean trap without a foul.
So we have 36.4 seconds remaining. Armstrong with no more timeouts, so whatever play they've drawn up is the play they're going to have to run. Possum in trouble, gets out of it. 20 seconds.
Ooh, wide open.
Going for the lead. Got it with 15 seconds, and the clock is still rolling. 10 seconds. Last chance for South. Kearney takes it herself. No foul. She picks it up. 2 seconds. Smith for 3. No good. And Armstrong wins. Armstrong wins. 47-46. They were down by 10 midway in the second half. And if you looked at the court, you'd think they just won the conference championship.
What
Holy
a beautiful
cow.
game.
Marshner, the player of the game for Armstrong and the play of the game, finishes with 17 points. That defense, deliberate defense, got them to win at the end.
Yes, I see Armstrong flipped the script on them at the end and put the pressure right back on them, and South couldn't handle it. But at the same time, they was deliberate the whole game, and it was indicative of the last play. They took their time, they moved the defense, and got a wide open layup to take the lead.
Well, I hope you could come with us for Chaska, because if these games are coming like this, I want you to come for every game.
Okay.
I want you every game.
Oh yeah, this is good here.
All right,
I love this.
This program is made possible in part by funding from Associated Bank with 17 locations in the Twin Cities metro area. Casey's Bar and Grill on Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis. DBA Stop and Shop, in operation for 12 years with 2 locations in Minneapolis. Gandhi Mahal in Minneapolis, featuring beer, wine, classy bar, and sizzling kebabs. Glacier's Cafe near the Hiawatha Light Rail line in Minneapolis. Minnesota Blizzards of the American Basketball Association. St. Paul Custom Creations Company, specializing in upholstery, car audio, window tint, butterfly doors, suicide doors, car lifts, lowering kits, rims, and tires. Soderbergh's Floral and Gift, operating since 1932 in Minneapolis, and by continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.